Hey guys, welcome to Project E. This is Heavy Hitters down at Toho Kissimmee Chain in Florida in June. You know, I've never been to Florida in June, so it's brand new for me. What I want you to take from this is the amount of water I cover in practice, the amount of casts that I make in practice. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned in my career that's different from early in my career, is covering water, making lots of casts, and never trying to win practice. I'm not going to win practice. I'm going to have my hooks covered. I'm going to not try to catch them all. I'm not going to try to, when I get a bite, wind that thing in to set that hook even further if I don't have them covered, because the more of those fish I shake off, the more of them I don't educate, is a chance I can catch them. And the other reason is just taking a chance of another competitor, another local seeing you catch a fish. You know, who wouldn't go over there and check out, hey man, that guy just caught a fish there. People are gonna go check it out, so you just try to protect your water. Frustrating tournament for me because I had a great practice. I felt like I had a really, really good practice, and it's always those tournaments that you think you have a great practice that they just don't go as good. So follow along here. I'm gonna walk you through it, show you what I did. It's the good, bad, and the ugly, I promise you. Hey guys, good morning. Here we are, first day Bass Pro Tour practice. Taking out a big Toho marina. Got me a awesome breakfast sandwich, and guys in there are amazing. Pretty cool. Order your sandwich. By the time you got your boat launch, you come back through, it's all ready to go. But pretty excited about this. We're gonna fish to dark. I'm gonna try to fish this lake and the bottom lake, at least look at as much of it as I can today. Here we go. Looking forward to getting after it. You guys follow along. Appreciate it. My philosophy when I'm sitting here fishing offshore grass is, you watch me, I'm gonna throw left, throw right, throw left, throw right, and just try to cover as wide a swath as I can going through that grass. Oh, there he was right there. First scoreable bass bite. I think that cast right there, I get another bite. Yep, right there. I set the hook on it, and then I'm like, oh man, why did I set the hook on it? Because there's boats all around. So I'm just sitting there holding tension on it, just trying to see if it'll come up to the top without jumping, just wanting to kind of see it. You know, that's the thing about practice. It's such a cat and mouse deal, you know. It's still on. That fish is still on right now, and I'm just watching. Oh, you hate it because you just don't want to, you just got boats watching you. You just got boats watching the whole time. The one thing I want you to take away from this is, if you watch, I'm throwing a 3/4 ounce vibrating jig for the most part. I mix in a spinnerbait a little bit on an 8:3-to-1 gear ratio rod. How many casts that I'm making? I mean, it's just a lot. And for the most part, I've got that trolling motor going as fast and as hard as I can go, you know, trying to keep the speed up. Sometimes, you know, if I find myself not going fast enough, I'll put it on constant speed to where I can't let off of it because I want to keep myself going. And I try to cast, you know, 4 or 5 times to the left, 4 or 5 to the right, just to cover as big a swath through that grass bed as I can. And then a lot of times if I get a bite, I'll go, turn, and come back across it at a 90-degree angle this way, you know, just to see how big an area it might be. But yeah, I think it's just a little one. I think I turn around and catch a pretty decent one. Yeah, there's another one right there, very next cast. And it's a pretty good one. I got a boat right over there, and I'm trying to do all I can just to keep the fish from jumping. It's kind of funny. I think I set my rod down and stepped on it because I think that boat was really watching me, and you know, you just don't ever know. Heck, they may have fished through there and know exactly where those fish were, or they may not have a clue, you know, because that's the thing about it. You can miss them by 100 yards. So I've got a fish on. I mean, I know it doesn't act like it, but I've got a fish on the whole time now. I'm raising my rod up to act like I'm throwing a worm, looking around to see who else is looking, who's coming by. And now I'm gonna try to get my boat between the fish and the people. You gotta be part movie actor when you're bass fishing. You have to. So I'm gonna open the compartments to kind of create a barrier. Now I'm trying to reel him up. Open another compartment, act like I'm getting a rod out. Still got the fish on. The fish is still out there swimming around right now. Now I think I'm unhooking him right there. Anyway, pretty good spot. I thought it was gonna happen right there. Do lots of circles as I'm driving, just looking for grass. Go back the other direction. I mean, this will make you dizzy like a roller coaster ride at Disney. I'm running and going back and forth trying to figure out how these grass beds lay. Yeah, I got another one on right there. It's hard. It's a pretty decent one too. So I'm sitting there acting again. You can see I'm putting my waypoint in, not wanting, I just don't want to crank on them and reel them in and see them jump. As calm as it is, anybody from 200-300 yards away can see it. Now I'm pushing my button because he's about to jump. If you push your button and give him a bunch of slack, he'll, a lot of times he won't jump. So I'm just trying to position the boat between me and that fish to where I can get him in. So as the day wears on, man, I just covered the whole lake. I think it starts raining big time here. If I remember correctly, we get in a monsoon of a rainstorm eventually. It was just frustrating. There's a good one. Let's show you all the fish right quick. That's what we need right there. A whole bunch of those. Here comes the rain. It is getting it too. Went from flat calm to blowing. I mean blowing. All right guys, I'm calling it a day. It is 6:45. I want to show you though what this lake, let's see, I'm going to show you. I spent the entire day on Toho, and this is the only trail. There was no trails on this lake. So here's the dam, and that is everywhere I went. I feel like I covered any possible spot that grass could have been. I came back in Goblet's Cove. I really didn't fish much back in there. It's pretty choked over, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got about 9 spots there that I had bites. A lot of those I had multiple bites, so we'll see. I mean, generally speaking, when you have 9 groups of fish and you had multiple bites and they're offshore grass fish, I'd be happy at times to have 1 or 2. It's kind of aggravating to have that good a practice on Toho and not do better than I did. So let's go to day 2. All right, here we are back at it. Day 2 practice, Lake Toho. I kind of really went over yesterday what happened in that video yesterday, how much of this lake I covered. I still put in up here. It's such a long drive to go put in at Kissimmee, but I'm gonna run all the way down to the other end, lock through, and look at Kissimmee today. We have 2 days, so I'm gonna try to look at as much of this as I can. I felt like I covered Toho pretty good out offshore. So I'm gonna run this thing south end, lock through, run to Kissimmee, and day 2 practice, Lake Toho. Here we go, guys. My day here, I'm gonna fast forward it, guys. I wanted to find hydrilla, and there's some hydrilla up here, but it's super, super shallow hydrilla. I never could find any 3-foot hydrilla on this lake. I'm not saying there wasn't, I couldn't find it. So right here, I start running current, and I end up catching a couple fish in the current. Just there's some drains and whatnot that are coming into the lake. This lake down here, because it just seems there's one right there. I weighed him to see how big he was. He's 1 pound, 15 ounces. I just wanted to know. Tell that fish is 115. Wow. So I leave. I think yeah, I leave Lake Kissimmee and I start heading back up the canals. I end up coming into Cypress. Fishing Cypress a little bit. I catch a couple bites in there.
Where you going?
These poor people.
I'm going all the way to Big Toho Marina.
They had been paddling for an hour. An hour. And I'm embarrassed to say some of my competitors passed them up. They're paddling up current. I felt horrible for them, and I just don't understand how people don't help somebody else, especially paddling up current, and the guy's like, pretty old. I end up towing them in. We get them loaded up. They were thankful, super, super thankful. Back out to fishing, back on Toho. So now I'm giving you an update. All right, man, that's a wrap. That's 2 days of practice. To sum up my day today, you know, it wasn't very good, but you've got to eliminate some water somewhere along the way. And I did that. I just pulled it up right here. I went 112 miles. Yeah, that's a lot of traveling. I didn't do a lot of fishing. I don't know, I got down there and I didn't really like what I saw. We'll see tomorrow. I'm gonna start out throwing a vibrating jig, spinnerbait, casting a worm, a little bit of flipping, all on that offshore grass. That's my plan. There it was, day 2. 112 miles, that's a lot of miles I covered in a day, especially in a bass boat, but you know, you got to eliminate water, and that's what I did. I felt like I eliminated, you know, Kissimmee. I did figure out that there's definitely fish relating to that current, catching some of those fish in that current down there, and there at the end of the day, I saw all that current coming in Shingle Creek that wasn't there the first day. It was crazy how much was coming in. The writing was on the wall, because I sat there and said, man, I hadn't got too many bites when it was cloudy and windy. And sure enough, you know, as we dive off into my first competition day, you're gonna see me try to do a lot of it and not get very many bites. Here we go, day 1. I'm starting out on this offshore grass. You notice it's cloudy and windy, and you know, I didn't care which one I started on. I felt like I had good chances on any one of them. You know, a lot of times in practice, you have one spot you truly want to be on, and you know, I don't know. I felt like this was a pretty good one because back-to-back cast, and saw some fish coming up schooling on this one. I can just tell you guys right now, I am going to do a whole bunch of this for the next 7 hours and 30 minutes and not catch a scoreable bass, not lose a scoreable bass. I will catch some small ones, but it's a miserable day. Spinnerbait, it's trying something different. Oh! I knew it. I just sit down. Fish landing violation. I hadn't done that in 1.5 years. I unhook it and throw it back in the water. I'm telling you, I'm disgusted. I'm wanting to catch a big fish so bad. My boat official's laughing about it. He thinks it's funny. Can't do nothing in these. Funny how you find a brush pile just going down the outside grass line. I happen to notice it out there. You know, that's why I always run that structure scan. And I catch one. Oh, I got a pretty light line on there. I got a 2-pounder. I got a 2-pounder. Hey guys, we promised the good and the bad. Well, we're showing the bad and the ugly part of this. There's no good to it. I mean, if it's this late in the day and I'm so excited about catching
2 pounds, 14 ounces.
A 2-pound, 14-ounce fish. Listen to my boat official. I even have a smart aleck boat official.
Finally! I don't know what to do this.
He's like, I don't know if I remember.
I got a dadgum smart aleck for a boat official. I don't even know how to put the weight in.
So anyway, I turned around catching non-keeper. I like my boat official. He was a good guy. We spent 2 days in the boat together. He had to go through that misery day. That's my day one. It was horrible. Horrible. All right, day two for me. So when we take off out of here, I am about the 20th boat out. And I missed the boat big time. And back of my mind, I'm thinking current, I've got to make an adjustment. There's something that's changed. I noticed the instant I put my boat in, you'll see all these hysons floating. They hadn't been there any. And the water has come up about a foot. And you know, I tried to get into Shingle Creek in practice. I couldn't get in there. I'm thinking, well, I can get in there today. I know there's current coming. That creek's just like how I won a Major League Fishing event on Istapoga. But I kind of wait around. I go past it, and I want to make sure nobody else is in there. And man, nobody's in there. And I'm thinking, well, that's not where everybody else is fishing. I'm going in there, and I'm going to try it. And I get in there, and man, I catch 3 right off the bat. You know, just boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna fast forward to it. You know, that was the thing. If somebody else was in there, if somebody would have come in there, I'd have left immediately. But there's nobody else in there, so I didn't feel bad or like, you know, I was doing anything wrong. I mean, in my mind, nobody's fishing in there. Looking back on this tournament, the guys in another group, I guess, were in there a bunch, and I didn't know that at the time. I'm just going trying to catch some fish and salvage a tournament. Here's the deal. Water's come up a foot. We got tons of current. I think I said it on the way down here. You got to fish current. I couldn't get in here and practice. The water wasn't high enough, so we're gonna take a chance. Come in this creek today with the water being up and see if we can catch some fish. So that's the plan. Hopefully it works out good.
Yes! Golly, I needed it so bad. Oh, thank you, Lord.
3 pounds, 10 ounces. 310.
310. That's a way to get it started right there.
There's 2 pounds, 2 ounces. Caught Faircloth, caught a 4 pound, 4 ounce bass. Two pounds, 11 ounces.
I'm like just on fire. I'm so excited just to catch a few fish, and it was a good one. Caught it, I think, on a fluke, you know, just anytime I'm in current, and that's how I won Istapoga, was on a fluke. And then here's where I make a mistake. I make a huge mistake. I continue up this creek. I'm thinking the further I go up it, the better it's gonna get, you know, and I'm gonna find me a river bend somewhere up there that they are stacked on. I leave them. They're all right there at the mouth, and I didn't know that, you know. I didn't have a clue. I think I'm getting closer and closer to the mother lode the further up this thing I get. There's some big backwaters up there. It splits off a couple times, and the good thing would have been to do to just get out of here, you know, and I'm gonna fast forward through all this because I end up I kill my batteries. I mean, I completely kill my batteries because you gotta realize I'm on 100% maxed out going against a 6 mile an hour current, 5-6 mile an hour current. And looking back on this tournament, guys, I just gotta stop this because I'm looking at it and I don't like it. One, I didn't factor the current, you know, but it was called the heavy hitters for a reason, and I thought the biggest bass were gonna be caught out in the grass, and eventually that's how Jordan won it. I had the right idea, the right decision to fish out in the grass. I didn't have enough areas or the right bait the first day. I didn't make the adjustments to catch them the first day. And the second day, I think, is when that grass really started to come into factor, and then the third and the fourth, and I didn't make it to the third and the fourth. And and things calmed down, things got sunny. So that's why we do it. That's why we keep learning. That's why we keep looking at this footage. I appreciate you guys watching. To me, of all the tournament recaps, this one is one of them that I think an angler can take more away from than any of the others, because I had such a good practice. And that's what's frustrating about it, to have such a good practice and then not to catch them. You know, a lot to be learned from that. I want you guys to give me some comments on what you want to see about practice, you know, about tournaments, about what you found works for you and what you'd like to see me do different. So be sure you comment on it and let me know what you think, and if you like these, because these are hard for me to do. I'm not, especially bad events. I can go back through the footage on good events, it's a lot of fun, but these events are hard for me to do because I don't like bad events. I don't like reliving them. I like putting them behind me, but appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next week. Thanks.